My question is, when I listen to Marty talk, you talk about project managers being engineers or R&D scientists, and you go through the succession of the project stages. But then when I listen to you talk, I'm sorry for tracking your name, but you talk more about project management being more just simply focused on project management. So my question to the panel is, how important do you think it's going to be in 2022 for the project manager to be technically competent in the technology that they're managing?
An excellent question. And actually, that's one of the ones that somebody submitted. So thank you for articulating that question. Diane.
You're seeing that today.
Yeah.
The technical, let's just use it, you get two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
In the next 10 years, you're still going to have the project manager role for sure. I mean, I don't anticipate that changing tomorrow. I mean, with certain industries or certain particular pockets of organizations may evolve faster than the majority. Because right now, we're still talking only 500,000 people that are PMPs in a world, which is nothing. So there's a lot to educate. So when you're talking about having technical competence, today, yes, you still need that technical competence. I strongly believe, this is where my belief is with regard to the life skill, is as we evolve, and I always tell people that, if I can find the sexy way to say project management, I would find it, but I haven't yet found it. But in the overall scheme of things, project management skills are important to everybody. And once everybody realizes that, is that going to be 2022 or 2032 or 2042? I don't know when. But once they realize that everybody's going to be learning those skills. And they are more the soft skills than they are the technical skills. To get your PMP today, you have to learn the technical skills. I got a risk register, I got a stakeholder analysis, I've done blah, blah. It's all technical skills. But the successful project managers are the ones that learn that soft skill and can negotiate and manage and corral and herd cats, right? We all have had to have herd those cats, which is not fun. So once we really get to the point where we are leveraging those skills as a life skill, then things will change. But right now, it's very technical.
So I think Diane's talking about technical, correct me if I'm wrong, in the terms of project management technical skills, like the risk register that you were talking about, or the WBS.
No, I'm talking like what Mark said.
Engineering.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's multiple skills. So there's that technical skill, and there's also the engineering skill. So, Marty, do you want to talk about the engineering skill?
I would love, as an engineer, I would love to believe that you can't be a project manager unless you have technical skills. But that's not the reality. In the way the world is moving in software, you'll have a project manager and a software architect who's the technical expert. In a lot of pharma projects, they've moved towards a business project manager and a chief scientist who worries about the technical or the scientific goodness of the project. I think that's what we're going to start seeing in projects where you marry the technical expert and the project manager. The technical expert worries about scope and requirements. The project manager worries about cost schedule and dealing with the client. I think that's the movement over the next 10 years. Because there just are not, there's no sense taking a really good scientist and turning him into a crummy manager. You want to keep him a good scientist.
Yeah, we're not going to get rid of that situation.
George
is wanting to.
Yes, I was very patient.
Yeah, I didn't mean to imply that project management would be more firmly entrenched as a separate discipline. I actually do believe and the agile and lean movements are really good about this. Those capabilities, the ability to plan, the ability to change, when we talk about the disciplines that the PM Bach talks about, are being adopted by people on the teams. So, and we're seeing a lot more of what you're talking about, where we have, and I would call it a triumvirate in a way. It's that we have technical, we have feasible. Feasible is technology. Valuable is about product strategy, and usable is about experience. And that triumvirate is kind of leading successful product development efforts. So I would add, in addition to a technical expert, the product from an innovation perspective, we're seeing the need to do that a whole lot more as part of that leadership as well. How do we not only get a project executed more successfully and have the right skills and to represent feasibility, technical feasibility and the technical challenges, but also how do we treat projects, product development efforts like products. I've heard more than one large organization lately, quite a few of them, more and more every day, as they start developing more capability amongst teams to run projects successfully, start talking about why do we need this construct of a project. It was necessary because we didn't know how to deal with uncertainty. But now the teams are getting better and better at dealing with uncertainty by getting those people to the table in the beginning and by doing better, smaller things and ironing out the collaboration between teams and things like that. Can we move to more of a product model? The role of project management in that it'll be interesting to see what that is. My recommendation is for people in that role, since they are already connected to those people, to start learning about things like theory of constraints and systems thinking and all these things, so they can start learning about how to incorporate that into our roles.
We have a couple people from regulated industries, so Mark, I would be curious if that picture is different in a highly regulated industry than it is in maybe a non-regulated industry.
So in our industry, for example, we have to also don't forget about the 3 constraints, so scope, schedule, budget. So a project manager in our organization would have to maintain knowledge of all the 3 constraints to be able to manage the project and have to meet the regulatory body requirements. So they have certain requirements they have to meet from the financial perspective and from the compliance perspective. All this has to be in the project management role. So to us, the project manager is really the single point of contact, and they do have metrics people reporting to them on the project where they can tap. They don't have to have deep knowledge in one area or the other, but they have to have enough technical skills to be able to maneuver between the different pieces of the project and be able to report on it to the regulatory body or executive management or what have you. So it is really a multiple discipline type as a single point of contact from the project manager perspective.